Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our next session with Yoga for the Back Body with Jim. I'm Jim. Today, or this month in May, we're going to be covering um, autonomy in your practice, and there's a few other words there that I'm forgetting to recall at the moment. But it's more what we'll be talking about is how maybe sometimes the teacher tells you to do something that maybe you just ain't feeling it. And I did say ain't there. I don't typically say that, but you're not feeling it. So this this month, let's practice on if I say something, maybe you just aren't feeling it. Sometimes, the teacher may offer child's pose to you and you just don't never take it, but maybe you should. Listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to all, everything happening around you and inside of you. And sometimes that might just mean taking a whole class in Shavasana. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do exactly what I say. I know as military members, we're kind of programmed into that, in boot camp or basic, it's like do this, do this, do this, do this. And we get to where we kind of default that um, power to the person who is semi in charge. But this is yoga, not boot camp, basic training, whatever. Just do what you need to do for yourself. So throughout this month, I'm giving you permission. If you want to just lay there for an hour and listen to me talk, feel free. You want to not do something I'm going to tell you to do? Don't do it. So let's come to a comfy seat. And I'm going to give you some options now, more options than I typically would. So you can, to kind of give you that, let you pick. Okay. So you can come to a comfy seat or you can lie down on your back and start out in a Shavasana, maybe prop your knees up at the sky, wherever you want to be to do this breathing exercise. Okay, because we're not going to abandon our 4-count breath or any of that stuff this month, but we are going to explore how we want our practice to be. Okay, so I'm going to lie down now that I'm here. If you want to sit, up to you. You want to sit on your calves in a kneeling position? Again, perfectly a fine option. Take a deep breath in. Audible exhale, let it all go. Arrive on our mat. Another deep breath in. Audible exhale. One more time, deep breath in. Audible exhale. Seal your lips. Breathing returns to its natural rhythm here. And then slowly start increasing the length of our breath. Maybe you start off by going to a 2. Maybe you decide to gradually increase as we make our way to a 4 count. Your choice is here. You can go straight to a 4. You can gradually get there. Finally get to that 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Maybe 4 feels hard today. Do 3. Maybe you're like, I'd like to breathe a little bit longer on the inhale and exhale. Fine, do 5, do 6. whatever breath feels comfortable to you today, and know that what feels comfortable today may not be what feels comfortable tomorrow. Now add in that pause, top and bottom, or not. Maybe you choose to extend that pause at the top and bottom for a count. Just find what feels comfortable for you in the present moment. Don't think about what it might feel like tomorrow or what it might feel like in 5 minutes, but feels like right now in this moment. And you may notice that I'm introducing these concepts to you while we're sitting or lying breathing. That's because they are the lowest effort things we can do. And you can make choices here that aren't affecting you in a way that's making you think about other things. So here you can make all the choices in the world about just breathing. It's completely up to you. Probably going to move a little bit slower today. So I want to give you the options and give you the ability to choose. Practice autonomy for yourself. So just continue on with your breath. We're going to do that for 5 more breaths, wherever you're at. One more after this one. If you are seated, I want you to come to lying on your back. And here's where some more of those choices are going to come in. Okay. We're going to start off with something easy. We're going to come to a figure four. So bring that right ankle to the left knee. Now, practicing your autonomy, you have choices. Right ankle on top of left knee, stay right here. Nothing else to do. Options that I'm going to give you here. Bring your foot up onto a block. Get a little bit deeper in the pose. Third option, pull your thigh in towards your chest, wrapping your fingers around the back of your thigh or the front of your shin, wherever you want to be. Settle in, come back to your breath. Maybe you want to wiggle your toes in here. Completely up to you. You don't have to be perfectly still. Maybe you want to roll out your ankles. What's calling to you in this moment? Maybe you don't want to do any of this. And you just want to lie in Shavasana, following your breath or not. Two more breaths here in figure four if you're there. If you're in figure four, take an inhale. And then if you have your thigh put in your chest, on the exhale, let the left foot come to the mat. Staying here, or if it's up on a block, take the block out of the way, bring the foot to the mat. And then notice the sensation in your body on the right side if you chose to do figure four. Even if that means a little achy and painy, notice the sensations. And when you're ready, I want you to uncross that right ankle off the left knee. Bring the right sole of the foot back to the mat, knee pointed up at the sky. And again, notice the sensation. Now that you move that, it might have shifted a little bit. Understanding these sensations and how we feel them may also express themselves in how we choose to actually do the pose. Maybe now that we've done that, you chose to pull your thigh into your chest. You know, this little soreness, achiness over here in the right hip. Maybe you don't go that deep next time. Maybe you just stick with your foot on the block. Maybe you keep your foot on the ground. All perfectly valid options. It's your practice. Okay, so we're going to come to left ankle, right knee. Same options, right? Foot on the ground, foot up on a block, or pulling the right thigh towards your chest, replacing your fingers behind the right thigh or across the right calf. If you've seen me do this before, you may have noticed that typically I put my fingers behind my across my calf or shin. Today I'm opting to not do that. I can feel that my body is feeling a little tighter in the legs and hips today. So, back out just a little bit. Maybe you don't necessarily understand the sensations yet, but part of yoga is learning how to feel inside your body and become aware of these sensations. We'll be here for three more breaths wherever you are. Two more. One more. Take an inhale. If you have your thigh pulled into your chest, on the exhale, slowly let that right foot come back to the ground. If it's up on a block, move the block out of the way, letting the foot come back to the ground. And then just notice, how does that left side feel now compared to when you came into class? Or maybe you didn't even know how it felt before you came into class, before we entered the pose. Stay here for a minute. Not a whole minute, sorry. Couple breaths. After your next breath, we're going to uncross that left ankle off our right knee, bringing the left foot back to the ground. Take your attention to both hips now. Notice how they feel. Maybe you felt something down in the glutes down there. Okay, perfectly fine. And here I'm going to exercise some autonomy because I need to get a good stretch in. So if you need to do that, just do it. Your class, your practice. Continue to breathe, though. Something I'm going to ask you to do. We set your breath rate earlier. How many inhale, how many count inhale, exhales. If you're putting in a pause, put in a pause. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. So that was a very simple exercise that doesn't put a lot of stress on you and gave you lots of choices. Now, this next exercise, it's a little bit harder to give you as many choices, but you can choose to how high you want to lift your hips, how deep you want to engage here. So I'm going to pull my feet in. We're going to be going to bridge pose. So I want you to reach down, see if you can scrub the back of your heels here. Heels are about hip width distance apart, right? Good lower back glute exercise here. Kind of like a hip thrust if you've ever been in the gym and seen guys do hip thrusts. Bring your palms out to the side. I like to have them on the side here. Maybe you like your hands somewhere else when you're going to bridge. Completely up to you, okay? I'm going to tell you, I put mine to the side mostly because it gives me a little that support, okay? So on the inhale, we're going to lift our hips up to the sky. And once we get there, I'm going to give you some options. So lift your hips up. Now you can try to feel the scrub your heels back, engaging those hamstrings, squeezing those glutes here. Stay here for 2 breaths. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower to the ground. Notice how that felt. Now you can choose to take your feet out wide here, let your knees knock together, or you could windshield wiper, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Whatever you feel like is calling to you right at this moment. And you can bring your heels back in when you're ready. No rush to get there. Come back to your breath. Prepare for another round of bridge. On the inhale, I want you to lift your hips up. Again, choices. Scrub the heels back, engaging the hamstrings, squeeze in those glutes, lift up as high as possible. Stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Options, knock your knees in. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. You choose. Maybe it's a combination. You don't have to pick one or the other. Maybe you choose to do both. Whatever you do, though, come back to your breath. When you're ready, we're going to set up for that bridge one more time. On your next inhale, we're going to lift our hips up high to the sky. Hold for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower all the way back down, one vertebra at a time as we come all the way down. Hips touch last. Feet can come out wide, windshield wiper left and right, wherever you want to go here. And then we'll meet back with our knees pointed up at the sky. And again, we're going to practice some autonomy here. I want you to, if you have a block, grab it. I want you to bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug here. Squeeze. Rock left and right on that lower back. Maybe you roll out your ankles again. And the next time you come to the right, I want you to let your knees fall all the way over. Coming to a supine twist. Now, here's your option. If supine twist is kind of an uncomfortable position for you, maybe you do this. Stick a block between your knees here. Maybe that makes you feel a little more comfortable. Bring your arms out to a T. Look over the left shoulder. My hips today are feeling super tight, which is leading to some tightness from our glute up through the side body here and making it difficult for me to get that shoulder down. So that's why I'm going to put the block between my legs. Maybe you don't need the block. Maybe you're over here. But instead of letting that thing hang, maybe you decide that, hey, we'll give ourselves some props here. Again, we're practicing that autonomy, understanding and listening to our body, reacting to it in class, knowing that it's okay that you don't have to do everything exactly the way your teacher does. But you do have to develop that body awareness to feel and hear what it's trying to tell you. So we're going to move the block if you have one there. I'm going to actually move it over to the left side here because we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to lift our knees up to center. Give yourself a hug here. Release the hug. Let your legs fall to the left. Maybe this side feels completely different. Who knows? I had a motorcycle injury some years ago, and sometimes going to the left really strains my ribs on the left side. So I tend to back out of it a little bit. Again, understanding my body, knowing where my aches and pains might come from. I'm adjusting the pose in real time and not trying to do what the instructor is doing. One more breath here on this side. If you decide to put the block between your knees, remove it. Inhale back up to center. Give yourself a big squeeze. Rock left and right. Let your feet come to the ground here. Recenter on your mat. You might have got shifted around a little bit there. And then extend your legs long. Setting up for your final resting pose. Now, everything I tell you here is just a suggested final resting pose, right? Like I always give myself a hip shimmy. Let my hands fall out wide. Usually I go palms up, but that's just me. Feels more comfortable. So it's easy to explore that autonomy when we're on our backs and in a more relaxed state, right? You can try out all kinds of things. Maybe when you go to Shavasana or final resting pose, you decide to give your ankles a good twirl. Maybe you like Shavasana with your hands on your heart and one hand on your belly. You do you. Slowly, gradually release control of your breath. When you're ready, go ahead and take a big stretch overhead, or maybe that's not what you like, but whatever you like to come out of final resting pose. Or roll over onto whatever side is calling to you. Prop yourself up. Palms to heart center, head slightly bowed. Thank you so much for joining me today. I bow to you. Thank you guys. Next week, we will continue on with exploring autonomy and we'll get a little more active. As usual, I like to start off slow and we'll build on that every week so you know where you can go. And I'll see you next time. Bye.